perseverance is key because you
Mhm.
will not always feel like doing this work.
Mhm.
Like, your feelings will send you off and say, just go back to bed.
Hey there, I'm Victoria, a certified Christian life coach, author, motivational speaker, and university educator, and I am obsessed with helping you navigate through life's ups and downs so that you can live day by day in God's peace despite the many external demands on your time and energy. The Choose to Think Inspirational podcast is about the delicate dance between God transforming you from the inside out and your personal responsibility for change, maturity, and refinement as a Christ follower. On the show, I'll help you connect the dots between your faith and your life in practical, meaningful ways while giving God room to do what only He can do, and so that you can shine your light for Christ and be better equipped to serve your family and help others around you. You can change every area of your life, one thought at a time. Welcome back to the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast, Brain Changer. Let's dive in. Well, get ready for another empowering episode on the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast in part 2 of our series with the remarkable Reverend Jocelyn Jones, author of Sister, Start Your Ministry. We're diving deep into 3 crucial topics that'll fuel your journey to success and fulfillment. And by the way, the 3 main topics in part 2 of our 4-part series with Jocelyn are not exclusively for you if you're wanting to become an entrepreneur or to launch your own business or ministry. They really apply to every aspect of every person's life, whoever you are and whatever season you may find yourself in. Maybe you have a big dream. Maybe you are a goal setter. Maybe you want to change bad habits and toxic thinking patterns and replace them with new ones. These 3 overarching topics from today's show can definitely apply to you too. The first topic we discuss is community. What do you think when I say the word community? Who's on the CEO board of your life? That's one of the questions that Jocelyn will ask today, and I love it. Today, we explored the significance of surrounding yourself with the right people and the impact they have on your personal and professional growth. And why is community so important in your Christian walk? Well, building a community of like minded individuals provides essential support and encouragement, helping you navigate the challenges of business while staying grounded in your faith. In Ecclesiastes 4, we read, 2 are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. A strong community holds you accountable to your values and goals, ensuring that you remain aligned with your faith principles even in the midst of pressures. And in 1 Thessalonians, we read this, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you're doing. We all need that kind of encouragement in our journeys. Also, connecting with fellow entrepreneurs, fellow Christians, doing life with other people fosters opportunities for collaboration, networking, and shared resources, which will amplify the impact of your business and your ministry or help you get to that big dream, right? How many times have you just coincidentally rubbed shoulders with someone and you're like, oh my goodness, your friendship is going to really help me. And I think I have something to offer you too. That networking and collaboration is so important in our walk. It's kind of like the community aspect. In Proverbs 27, it says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. We need each other. Well, topic number 2 on tap is developing a persevering mindset where you don't let your feelings run the show. You're going to discover how cultivating resilience and determination can help you navigate the inevitable challenges on your life's journey or your entrepreneurial path. Well, what does that mindset include? It includes kind of engaging faith over fear. Cultivating this kind of persevering mindset rooted in your faith will empower you to overcome fear and doubt, trusting in God's guidance and provision for your business endeavors and your life's endeavors. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Do you know what verse that is? Yeah, some of you do. It's 2 Timothy 1:7. Also, this mindset of perseverance will enable you to bounce back from setbacks and challenges that are bound to come your way. You're going to view them instead as opportunities for growth and refinement rather than reasons for despair. And this kind of kicks me in the backside here, because, like a kick in the pants, because I want to grow, I want to learn. And even for something like dealing with defeat on the pickleball court, for example, there's still room for me to learn and to grow. And I'm very excited about that aspect of my Christian journey and my Christian walk. In James, he writes, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces" what? You got it. Perseverance. And the other aspect, that when you focus on your God-given purpose, it fuels you with the determination and resilience that's needed to weather the storms and press forward, even when obstacles seem insurmountable. And that's one of the reasons this episode is called Don't Give Up. Know your why, your God given purpose. You keep your eyes on God, and that's really going to help you to become truly persevering and to develop that mindset. One of the Proverbs tells us that when we commit to the Lord, whatever we do, He's going to establish our plans. And that's really good news. Now, the third topic, and we're going to get to Jocelyn just in a second, but that third topic involves remembering your why. I kind of said that a moment ago. And then also, consequently, working through any discomfort that you're bound to face. Jocelyn shares invaluable insights on staying connected to your purpose and overcoming obstacles with unwavering focus and determination. When you reflect on your why, like, why did God put you on this earth? Why did He gift you in the ways that He's gifted you? Why do you have a burning desire to tell your story, to write your story? Why do you kind of enjoy doing the things that you do? And how can you become a kingdom influencer? Because indeed you are a kingdom influencer. And when you're on earth to declare God's goodness and to testify about what He's done in your life. And it doesn't have to be loud and podcasting everywhere, something like that. It can be really something very, very quiet, like maybe God gifts you with doing cross stitch, and you decide that your ministry or what you want to do is actually cross stitch little designs and send them to the elderly among you. Or maybe you love to cook and your ministry would be to actually organize meals for shut-ins. And I mean, we could just think of a gazillion things that you might be able to do, but God's gifted you. What I'm trying to say is He's gifted you, and your why, determining that and remembering that you're working for God, with God, alongside God, and He's going to kind of do all the heavy lifting in this. Having that focus and that perspective is really, really, really going to help you and also bring glory to God. In Corinthians, it says, 1 Corinthians, "So whatever, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all." Why? For the glory of God. Keeping your why front and center sustains your motivation and your perseverance. So all of these three topics that we discussed really are kind of holding hands. They go hand in hand, even during dry seasons of discomfort or uncertainty, as you remain anchored in your faith-driven mission, in your why. I love this verse from Galatians. It says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." In other words, it's easy to throw in the towel, isn't it? It's easy to say, "I'm done, I quit," to walk away and to just have that defeated kind of mindset. But instead, we're going to say, "No, God, we're just going to look to you. We're going to trust you. Your word will be a lamp to our feet and a light on our path. And we're going to pray to you. We're going to glorify you. We're going to just surrender our lives to you. And even this mission that we have on earth, we're going to surrender it to you. We're not going to get tired of that. We're not going to get weary in doing something that is so good and that is helpful for other people." Also, finally, remembering your why empowers you to push through discomfort and adversity, knowing that your sacrifices and efforts serve a greater purpose in advancing God's kingdom through your life, your life's mission, your business, your personal goals and endeavors. And in Hebrews, this one, it says, "Let us run with" what? Perseverance. What? The race marked out for us fixing our eyes on whom? On Jesus. And who is he? He's the pioneer. I love that word there. And the perfecter of your faith. Well, you're going to love the show today, and may it bring a bit of inspiration to your journey and give you a huge dose of encouragement right now, today, at this very moment in your life. Let's listen in to this candid behind the scenes chat with Jocelyn Jones. This is part 2. This question kind of ties into the first question, really, and it's what are the most valuable lessons you have learned from the last year? You kind of shared some of those in the first question about things that are exciting you, but any other lesson pop into your mind? Any other thing that you're learning?
I think the other thing that I'm learning is that when we do this work, community is extremely important. How we go about getting community, that looks different for everybody.
Mhm.
I know for me, I've had community through my faith community to help me. I've also had my family that I have had to make sure I was intentional about spending time with. I have also really sought out other individuals who are Christian entrepreneurs who understand this unique dynamic. And so, even as an introvert, because I am introverted, I cannot express how important community is for this journey because there are times in which you get in your head and you are struggling with thoughts of doubt, wanting to quit, as you talked about earlier, as I talked about earlier, all these struggles. And you need people who are like cheering you on and
Mhm.
supporting you. I often, when I'm working with women, I ask them the question, who is on the board of directors of your life? Who
Mm,
are the people who you can turn to who provide wise counsel? Not just any old advice, but wise counsel.
mm,
Who is going to challenge you, who's going to support you, who's going to connect you with resources, who's going to help to pull the greatness out of you that already exists.
mm,
And we have to be mindful of who are the people who are around us and who are either pulling from us, draining from us. Like, 'cause some people drain us and some people pour into us. And so I encourage those who's listening right now, I'm actually in the process of doing this, kind of audit your circle,
mm,
audit who you spend your time with. And if there's some individuals who you love, but they might be draining you or might not be helping you to progress in the way that God is leading you, then you look like you probably will have to set some healthy boundaries with them
mm,
and identify other individuals in contrast who are where you desire to be, who are spiritually mature, who's going to speak life into you and is going to help to fill your cup. And so that was the second piece of advice is identifying who's on your board of directors and making necessary changes.
Who's on your board of directors? Like, about how many
Yes.
people do you have?
So my younger brother is one. I call him my little
Aw.
big brother. I'm like he's just so wise.
I love it.
So so he's on my board. My mother, who is just amazing. I'm so grateful she's still with us. And then my counselor, I have a counselor who when I tell you like she is so solid and she is objective. She challenges me, but she is a woman of faith and so she
Yes.
directs me in every sense of the way. And so she is there. And then I have like maybe 2 or 3 really close girlfriends, and I
Yes.
know which girlfriend to call when. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I do.
it's like, okay, it's like, okay, I call you for this, I don't call you for that, and
That's
so
right. I love it. We know the
yeah.
ones that but they're so dear to us, and they're
Mhm.
honest with us, and they love us so much, they're encouraging, they're just
Yes.
gonna, "I got your back here. I'm gonna
Yes.
give you that boost that you need about that issue." Yeah, that's so good, and, I think that when I was thinking about that question, valuable lesson, oddly enough, as we've been talking, what I just scribbled down just a few little notes on here, and it was don't give up. That was the lesson that I'm trying to really just say, I'm just not gonna give up because you kinda once you're tapped and once you're called, you don't want to give up. It's like, okay, what would I do if I did give up? I don't even know what that might look like, but I want to have a persevering mindset, but it can't be on my own strength. And that's where I get snagged a little bit because in my own might and my own energy and my own planning, my own head, I might exhaust myself and then feel so frustrated because maybe there are no rewards or nothing tangible or, I'm telling you the thoughts in my head, I could tell myself things like what you're doing doesn't really matter. Nobody cares about this. You can just spend time doing XYZ, or, maybe you need to go off in this avenue. So I don't know. I can get really kind of heavy in my own head. But in the end, if I just kind of resist that and just say, no, I'm going to pull back the curtains on all that negativity and even self focus, really, or self pity, whatever it might be, and just understand that being a female entrepreneur is Christian, faith filled. It's both easy and hard. It's hard in some of the aspects that are, you kind of like with your book, some of that you're nailing down can be difficult. That's why your book is such an amazing tool for those who are try need some scaffolding and need something to a place, even a starting point, a launch point. But on the other hand, it's easy because we just have to do this for God. We're working with Him and for Him, alongside Him. And when we
Mhm.
simplify it like that, like, Lord, this is your day, it's really your ministry. And I'm going to just keep doing it until you tell me to stop. I mean, that's kind of where I land on that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, and yes. Yes,
Yeah.
and amen to that, and I think, this is where that perseverance is key, because you
Mhm.
will not always feel like doing this work.
Mhm.
Like, your feelings will send you off and say, "Just go back to bed." You know? You had enough of this.
Yeah.
But again, going back to why you're called, why you are doing this, and it's bigger than you. And at the
Mhm.
same time, you do benefit from it as well. Like I tell people this all the time. My work is around healing. My ministry is all about helping people heal from trauma and grief. And while I'm helping others, I'm also healing as well through my
Amen.
work. And so it's something where it's very fulfilling. It's this weird thing, Victoria. I don't know if you kind of feel it
I
where
do.
there's times where I'll finish leading a trauma healing group, and even though it's a heavy topic and we're dealing with such heavy stuff, part of me physically might be tired, but my heart is so filled. You know,
Yes.
it's the work that makes your soul sing. It's like it's an overflow.
Yes.
And so that's the intangible benefit
Mhm.
that people often miss. And,
Yeah.
yes, it's painful to do the work around building your ministry. Ain't not It's not easy just to do this work. It's sacrificial, yes. But it's also, I believe, Victoria, I believe it's even more painful if we were to leave this earth without answering the call and walking in our purpose and looking back and saying, I never did what God called me to do. I never started that nonprofit. I never wrote that book. I never started, to do that life coaching business, whatever, because we were
Mhm.
afraid or we wanted to stay comfortable.
Mhm.
And so that, I believe, is more painful. So I'd rather do the work now that that is fulfilling, say yes, and work through the discomfort, because the benefits of this meaningful, purpose-driven work, it's hard to even explain how amazing it is.
It is. Recently, I was invited to speak at a local church to Orphans Alliance Ministry, Orphan Care Alliance. Anyway, it was a former homeschooling friend who reached out to me knowing the ministry, and she said, "Can you just come and give us your 7 R's for living your best thought life and go through that method? Let's talk about that." And there were maybe 8 women in that group. I think maybe about 6 or 8, and after that meeting, I could have floated out of that room because it is such a good feeling. And, I've invested a lot of time and energy in research and studying and applying biblical truth. Faith to our lives in meaningful ways. That's my passion. And I want other women to have that too. I don't want women stuck in depression, for example. And it, so I know just what you're talking about, Jocelyn, when you're that feeling, it's so extremely rewarding. And I'm like, I could do this all the time because
Yes.
it's just, it feels so good. It's really rewarding to share it and to have them interested and hopeful again, or like maybe they're able to look at their own situation just in a new way and in a new light, and they're like, okay, these are some tools that I can hold on to that are really going to serve me well and help me. And it's so nice to impart something like that. Tell everyone, please, Jocelyn, where they can get a hold of you. How can they reach out to you?
Sure. So if they want to just reach out to me for just information about what I do, go to jocelynjjones.com. But if you are a woman who is interested in exploring your own ministry, visit womenintheministry.com. Again,
Mhm.
that's womenintheministry.com.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Victoria.
And that's a wrap, Brain Changer. And listen, if you like what you hear, would you leave us a 1 to 2 sentence review at Apple Podcasts? Share the link with a friend or tag me on your share on social media. It would mean the world to me and would help us to keep shining the light of Christ and sharing the good news to others who are in need of encouragement. Please visit us on our website at choosetothink.co. That's with the number 2, choosetothink.co, to get on our monthly newsletter list. And if you need a guest speaker for your next women's retreat or church event, I'm your gal. Email me at choosetothink@gmail.com, and that's with the number 2, choosetothink@gmail.com. Finally, I offer limited free mentoring sessions each month where you and I can chat to help you develop a strategy for your thoughts in any area of your life. I'm a certified life coach and I have something to share. Visit choosetothink.co and click on mentoring for more details. Also, keep in mind that the messages on this show are for informational and educational purposes only. Please consult your medical doctor for all medical issues. Thank you again for tuning in. God bless you.